one thing that I think holds a lot of people back with financial planning and really looking at financial planning is that a lot of people think that they need a boatload of money to get into financial planning. That is a huge misconception. A lot of these companies, pay us financial advisors for the good that we do for the people that we deal with, so it's not like you're going to come in and we're going to charge you on an hourly rate to, help you kind of create a plan, especially, when we're doing it with MCC. That's something that you really don't have to worry about. And I know it is overwhelming at first, but it really just starts with a conversation on getting to know you and your family. We at Modern Woodmen, we do not charge at all for our financial planning on an hourly rate. So, I don't always think that the relationship's going to work out. You have to make sure that I'm a good fit for you and you're a good fit for me. But I always think that at least a conversation is worth your time. I think financial planning itself becomes very, very overwhelming. I think most people in the world kind of kick it down the road until almost it's too late for some people. MCC is able to kind of step in at any point and kind of help you with that process throughout the variety of resources they're able to offer you. Financial planning is probably the most important part of that besides the estate planning, just to make sure all your ducks are in a row through a variety of different ways, whether that's investments, insurance products, getting your estate plan kind of set and so forth. As I said, it's overwhelming, so it's very important to, take that one step at a time, and really the first step of that is education. So I always tell people that my job is one, babysitting, so kind of babysitting people in terms of like their behavior and not reacting in certain critical moments, and also is educating. First and foremost, I'm an educator, and you want to understand kind of what you're getting into, so that's kind of where we come from. We've helped a lot of families. A big part, that a lot of people with going through MCC has a lot to do with the special needs estate planning. So a lot of people don't know what they don't know. So I would say, the first part is kind of explaining why that stuff's important. A lot of the children in these families, they get SSI from the government. So God forbid if anything happens to the parents and so forth, and you don't have these special needs trusts set up, and that money does go to the kid with disabilities, then it does shut off that SSI, which is a lifelong benefit for these people, and there's nothing really that people can do about it once it's gone. Supplemental Security Income, and it's for individuals that are considered disabled. So yeah, the big portion of that is like if you kids that have and families that receive SSI cannot show earned income. So like when they pass on retirement accounts and so forth, and it does not go through a trust, of special needs trust, then the government will shut that off, because they'll be like, all right, well, this family and these kids are taken care of because they just got this huge lump sum money. And SSI is just like a paycheck to them. It's like a Social Security check for retirees. They're gonna get it every single month for the rest of their life. So it's huge. It's huge, and most people don't know that. So we've helped a variety of families kind of set that up, and a lot of that goes down the route also of like tax efficiently. In a world of ever-evolving taxes, I would say that's something that's a hot topic in that sense. And again, people don't know what they don't know. So if you have investments out there or anything like that, we want to try and pass those on the best way, tax efficient wise, because that's just going to make that much of a lasting impact on those kids and the rest of your family for the rest of their lives. An aspect that's often overlooked in that sense is going to be life insurance. Life insurance has become a bigger and bigger tool in the world of ever-evolving taxes. Reason being is because life insurance is always tax-free. So kind of an example of that would be if you pass on a retirement account that's $100,000. A lot of people don't know this, but when it's passed on, that money is taxable, to those individuals. So think of a portion of that money going to the government, and that's your hard-earned money. With life insurance, if you have a $100,000 life insurance policy, all $100,000 is going to go to those kids and the rest of the family. So it's big picture, you don't really think about it like that, but that money can make a very, very large difference in the long run for the rest of their lives. So I always like to think kind of the base of the financial plan is always going to be the life insurance, and you kind of work your way up from there. So I think that's a little bit of a common misconception, because life insurance isn't very sexy to talk about a lot of the time. So I would say that's one of the bigger common misconceptions. A perfect fit, yeah. It's funny because they even did that with us. So all the resources that MCC uses, all of us even had to go through a vetting process to make sure that we are a credible resource and that we can provide, financial help and everything like that with people that are going through the programs. The vetting process itself, I think, is detailed where, we only get a certain amount of funds and so forth that we can help out. So I think that the vetting process is needed where we'd rather make, big impacts on people instead of little impacts kind of everywhere. So I think the vetting process has done a really good job of that. And I always like to tell people that, not only you had to go through the vetting process, but all of us, a part of the nonprofit and everything, had to do the same thing, with MCC and everything. So, I think MCC has kind of fit itself into a very niche market in the world of nonprofits. It's not that Dane County itself lacks nonprofits, but I do think it lacks nonprofits in the sense of what Janus and MCC has been able to provide for people. I think this is a portion of financial planning, at least, that is often overlooked, and I think that this nonprofit does a very good job of highlighting that. Not that it's overlooked, but I think it's the most important part that's overlooked. I've known Janus for a really, really long time, and I think it takes a lot of guts and courage to quit your full-time job to be able to give your life and everything to such a worthy cause. So, it's easy to follow a leader like that in that scenario that believes in it that much. So that's kind of, why I got involved in MCC in the first place and just kind of hit the ground running from there.